HOA meeting room, Laurel Heights Estates. Ray Kessler, treasurer, 54, leans back in his chair at the head of the table, eyes on the woman standing at the back of the room. Nadine, I've been running this HOA for 6 years, for free, and if you want to keep your seat on this committee, I'd suggest you learn when to be quiet. 14 residents, fluorescent lights flickering, box of Krispy Kreme donuts in the center of the table. Ray brings them to every meeting, hasn't missed one in 6 years. Hands laced behind his head, smile just gone. Back of the room, Nadine Okafor still standing, 39, certified public accountant, joined the finance committee less than 3 months ago, holding the HOA notice, special assessment, $1,200 per household, $35,000 total, pool resurfacing. That was 6 months ago. Pool's still closed. She sits down, says nothing, but her hand still grips the letter, paper crinkling under her fingers. She doesn't look at Ray. She looks at the donut box on the table. That box costs $12. Ray pays $12 every quarter, so 112 households never ask where $341,000 went. $35,000 collected for the pool. Pool's still closed. 83% of the maintenance budget flowing into one company, a company nobody knows who owns. And somebody's house just got $162,000 in renovations. Where'd the money come from? I read this story at midnight, then read it again, then a third time. First time around, honest. I believed the treasurer. Donuts every meeting. Smile that remembers your kid's name. I do this for free. Who'd suspect that? Second time I noticed. The woman told to be quiet at the back of the room. She wasn't angry. She was counting. And when a certified public accountant starts counting, you don't want to be the one getting counted. Someone messaged me after reading. I just asked to see my HOA's books. Never done that before. Someone tagged a friend. Read this now. Sounds like our HOA. Same here. I opened my own HOA's spreadsheet at 2 a.m. Never opened it before. But there's one detail I almost missed. She paid out of pocket. Money meant for her 7-year-old son's books that month, to hire an outsider to confirm what she already knew. And what that person found, I'll let you see for yourself. Follow the channel, because after this story, you're going to want to open your HOA's budget and read it. Krispy Kreme donut box sitting on the table. 6 years and nobody asked why the guy bringing donuts is also the one keeping the books. Nadine Okafor, daughter of Nigerian immigrants, grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment in Silver Spring, Maryland. Walls so thin you could hear the neighbor's TV. Parents worked double shifts. Nobody in the family had ever hired an accountant. Nadine was good at math. Not genius good, patient good. Good at sitting with a problem until it decided to talk. Her accounting professor at community college, Professor Owens, thick-rimmed glasses, 20 years teaching accounting, saw that. He sponsored her scholarship. And on the first day of the advanced class, he set a small leather-bound notebook on her desk, cover worn soft. First page, in blue ink, handwritten. Every number tells a story. Find the story. Nadine kept that notebook. Through the CPA exam, 4 attempts, 2 failures. The third time she sat in the testing center parking lot for half an hour before she could walk in. Through the divorce, through every tough case file. She'd flip to the first page, read that line, and go back to work. She'd lived in Laurel Heights 4 years, 112 households, $320 a month in dues. Never attended an HOA meeting. Went to work, came home. Made dinner for Emeka, age 7. Slept. She wasn't the type to go looking for trouble. Trouble found her. Cut. Ray Kessler. Sold Chevys for 20 years before becoming treasurer. Dealership manager. The kind of guy who shakes your hand with both of his and remembers your kid's name the next time. Ray knew how to sell. Knew when to smile. Knew when to nod. When to clap you on the shoulder. How's Emeka doing in school, Nadine? Getting so big. Everyone who met Ray thought the same thing. Good man. Gives up his weekends for the community. Every meeting, Ray brought donuts. Krispy Kreme. Big box. Everyone sat down, grabbed a donut, and listened to Ray read the financial report. 2 pages. Page 1, income. Page 2, expenses. Nice round totals. Nobody asked questions. Donuts were still warm. 3 years earlier, board member Luis Hernandez suggested hiring an independent auditor. Luis, 62, retired civil engineer, the only person on the board who'd ever read a financial report past page 1. Ray leaned back, small smile, the car selling smile. Luis, an auditor costs $5,000 a year. That's $5,000 out of your dues. I do everything for free. Bookkeeping, reconciliation, reports, and now you want to pay $5,000 to check my work? Turn to the room. If anyone has a problem with how I run things, there, pointed at the door. Doors open. Luis looked around. Nobody backed him up. He withdrew the motion. Nobody brought it up again. $5,000 for an audit. Too expensive for the community. Remember that number. It'll come back. Cut. After the meeting, the one where Ray told her to learn when to be quiet, Nadine goes home, sets her bag on the kitchen counter, looks at the HOA notice on the table. $35,000. Pool resurfacing. 6 months. Pool's still closed. She opens her laptop. Nadine doesn't get angry. She's not the type to get angry. She's the type who counts. First step. Request full financial records. Finance Committee rights under the HOA bylaws. Section 12.4. Access to all financial documents. She emails Ray. Polite. Professional. Ray, I'd like to review the original invoices, contractor agreements, and bank statements for the past 4 years to complete the committee report. Ray replies 3 days later. Absolutely, Nadine. Records are in the storage room. Old filing system. Let me get those organized for you. 2 weeks. Nothing. Nadine follows up. Ray. Swamped, Nadine. Next week? 3 weeks. Nothing. A CPA waits 3 weeks for invoices and gets nothing but promises. Any accountant knows. When someone stalls on letting you see the books, it's not because they're busy. Nadine goes to the storage room herself. Section 12.4. She has the right. Basement of the community center. Smell of damp concrete. Fluorescent tube flickering. A few cardboard boxes on a metal shelf, most of them empty. The invoices are single-page printouts. Round numbers. $8,000, $12,000, $15,000. No labor breakdowns. No material receipts. No contracts. Nadine sits on the cold concrete floor. Opens the leather notebook. First page. Blue ink. Every number tells a story. Find the story. She starts counting. Week 1. Nadine sits at her laptop at 10 p.m. Emeka asleep, kitchen light warm, coffee gone cold, and pulls up the state business registry. The name on every HOA invoice. Kessler Home Solutions LLC. Registration page loads. Year incorporated, 2018. Registered agent, Donna Kessler. Address, 7842 Pinewood Court. Nadine stops typing, looks at the screen again, types the address into Google Maps. 7842 Pinewood Court, Ray Kessler's house. The company receiving the bulk of the HOA's maintenance budget, owned by the treasurer's wife. Registered at the treasurer's home, same year Ray became treasurer. Nadine puts her hand over her mouth, sits still for 30 seconds, then keeps typing. Pulls up the DBA filing, KHS operating. Same company, same person, 2 names for one outfit. 2 names so it's harder to trace back to one source. Week 2. Nadine requests the HOA bank statements. Ray stalls another 5 days. Bank's slow. Finally sends a redacted version, incomplete, but enough for a CPA. Nadine builds a spreadsheet, 4 years of transactions, line by line, dollar by dollar. Total, maintenance and repairs, spending over 4 years, $412,000. Payments to Kessler Home Solutions and KHS Operating, $341,000. Payments to all other contractors combined, $71,000. 83 cents of every maintenance dollar flowing into the company owned by the wife of the man keeping the books. No competitive bidding, no comparison quotes. 6 years and nobody asked, because the donuts were warm and the report was 2 pages. Would you believe it was just good pricing, or would you want to know what $341,000 actually bought? Nadine can't sleep that night. Next morning, she opens the laptop before making coffee, types, licensed building inspector near me. Tom Wiley shows up on a Wednesday morning, toolbox in hand, building inspector, 23 years experience, $800. Nadine pays out of pocket, money she'd set aside for Emeka's books this month. Tom inspects every project Kessler Home Solutions invoiced over 4 years. Every single one. Pool resurfacing, $35,000. Tom goes to the community pool, kneels down and runs his hand across the surface. Original surface from 2012. Moss along the edges. No sign of new work. The pool has not been touched. Clubhouse roof repair, $28,000. Tom climbs the ladder. Original roof. No new materials. Rust on the screws. Same age as the building. Parking lot resealing, $18,000. Lot has cracks running through it and obvious fading. No new sealant. Grass growing through the gaps. Drainage system upgrade, $22,000. Tom searches the entire property. Digs 2 test spots. No drainage system has been upgraded. Nobody in the neighborhood even knew this project existed, because it didn't exist. Tom Wiley's report, stamped and signed. Of $341,000 in invoices, I was able to verify approximately $47,000 in actual work performed, primarily minor repairs consistent with a single handyman, not a professional crew. $294,000 corresponds to work never performed, significantly inflated, or entirely fabricated. $294,000 in phantom invoices for a pool that was never resurfaced, a roof that was never replaced, a lot that was never resealed, even a drainage system that never existed. Report sits on the table. $341,000 to Donna's company, $47,000 in real work, $294,000 vanished. Nadine asks a question only a CPA would ask. If Donna received $341,000 but only performed $47,000 in work, where did the other $294,000 go? County building permits, public records. Anyone can look them up if you know what to ask. Nadine types Ray's home address, 7842 Pinewood Court. Screen flickers. Results load. 4 lines. 2019. In-ground pool installation, $42,000. 2020, kitchen remodel, $38,000. 2021, master bathroom renovation, $27,000. 2022, garage conversion and new driveway, $55,000. Total renovations at the Kessler residence, $162,000. Contractor on every permit, Kessler Home Solutions LLC. Donna's company took $341,000 from the HOA, did $47,000 in real work for the community, and renovated Ray's house for $162,000. Community pool, still closed. Ray's pool, brand new. Community kitchen never fixed. Ray's kitchen, granite countertops, oak cabinets. Community parking lot cracked and faded. Ray's driveway, smooth as glass. The HOA paid to build the treasurer's house, and he brought donuts to say thanks. Nadine closes the laptop, opens the leather notebook, flips through old pages, audit notes, reference numbers, dates, finds a blank page, picks up a pen, writes 3 words, found the story. Cut. Nadine sits at the kitchen table, evidence spread in front of her, printed spreadsheets, stamped inspection report, screenshots of county permits, complete, no gaps. But Nadine is an introvert. 4 years in Laurel Heights, she's never spoken at a single meeting, not even to ask about the mowing schedule. Standing in front of 47 people, clicking through slides, reading numbers aloud, she feels nauseous. She calls her sister. You could just hand everything over to the police and let them deal with it. Nadine considers it, seriously. But a police investigation takes months. Ray, 20 years selling Chevys, a man who knows when to smile and when to shred documents, would clean house before anyone knocks. And the annual budget meeting is in 2 weeks. If the budget passes, Ray gets another year. More donuts, more smiles, more money. Emeka walks into the kitchen, bare feet on tile, holding his math workbook. Mom, is the pool open yet? Nadine looks at her son, looks at the files on the table. $35,000 collected. Pool still closed. Moss still clinging. Under repair sign still hanging. And her kid, 7 years old, never once swum in the community pool, asks that question every week. Not yet, baby, but soon. Emeka goes to bed. Nadine sits back down at the kitchen table. Opens PowerPoint. 5 slides. Clean. Just numbers, charts, screenshots. No accusations, not one use of the word fraud, not one use of the word embezzlement. She's an accountant. She presents numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. She privately messages 8 residents, the ones she knows read financial reports, the ones who've wondered but never said anything. You might want to come to Thursday's meeting. No explanation. Next meeting. Ray reviews the agenda. Nadine wants 20 minutes. Great. Finance committee update. Wonderful. He brings extra donuts. Thursday. Community room. Neon lights, folding chairs in rows. 47 residents. Normally there are 15. Ray at the head table. Donut box open. Glossy budget packets placed on every chair. Big turnout today. Must be the donuts. Laughs. Everyone laughs along. Regular agenda. Landscaping report, then summer mowing schedule. 20 minutes. Then, Nadine Okafor, Finance Committee update. Nadine stands up, from the 3rd row, walks to the front, opens her laptop, plugs in the projector cable, fingers finding the socket on the 2nd try, but nobody notices. Projector fan hums to life. The room settles in for the most boring 5 minutes of the evening. Slide 1, white background, black text, 1 number. Over the past 4 years, our HOA spent $412,000 on maintenance and repairs. That's your dues money. Room nods. Normal. Slide 2, pie chart. 1 slice taking up almost everything, colored red. 83%. This is where that money went. 83 cents of every maintenance dollar to a single company, Kessler Home Solutions. Ray straightens up. Nadine, they're the primary contractor. Competitive pricing. Let me finish, Ray. Room goes quiet. Nadine has never used that voice. 4 years in Laurel Heights. She has never used that voice. Slide 3. Screenshot of the State Business Registry. Kessler Home Solutions LLC. Registered in 2018, the same year Ray became treasurer. Registered agent, Donna Kessler. Address, 7842 Pinewood Court. Nadine pauses. That's Ray's home address. Silence. This company is owned by the treasurer's wife. Murmurs ripple from the back rows to the front. Ray. Donna runs a legitimate business. There's nothing. I'm not done. Slide 4. Inspection report. Stamped. Signed. I paid $800 out of my own pocket to hire a licensed building inspector, Tom Wiley, 23 years experience. He inspected every project Kessler Home Solutions invoiced over 4 years. Summary on the slide. $341,000 billed. $47,000 in verified work, $294,000, corresponding to work never performed. What? Someone in the back row. Plastic chairs scraping across the floor. Someone stands up. Ray stands, both hands on the table, voice steady, the last Chevy pitch. Everyone, calm down. Donna runs a legitimate business. I recommended my wife's company because it offered the best pricing for the community. No rule against it. I haven't taken a dime. Ask anyone in this room. 6 years I've sat here for free. And now, because of a PowerPoint presentation from someone who's been on the committee for 3 months, you're going to question me? Nadine doesn't answer. Doesn't look at Ray. She clicks to the next slide. Slide 5. County building permits. Public records. 4 lines. Pool, kitchen, bathroom, garage. All at 7842 Pinewood Court. Contractor on every permit. Kessler Home Solutions. Nadine reads slowly, line by line. Over the same 4 years, county building permits show $162,000 in renovations at Ray Kessler's home. Pauses. New pool, new kitchen, new bathroom, new garage. Pauses. Contractor on every permit. Kessler Home Solutions. Meeting room, 47 people. Nobody breathes. Our HOA paid $341,000 to a company owned by the treasurer's wife. That company billed for work that was never done. And during that same period, that company renovated the treasurer's house for $162,000. Back row, Donna Kessler stands up, clutches her purse against her chest, walks out, doesn't look at Ray, doesn't look at anyone, pushes the door open with her shoulder, like someone running who doesn't want anyone to see them run. Door closes behind her. Nadine closes the laptop, folds it shut. Small click. I'm not here to accuse anyone. I'm an accountant. I present numbers. She looks at Ray, and every number tells a story. This is the story I found. Silence. 3 seconds. The longest the Laurel Heights meeting room has ever known. Luis Hernandez, retired civil engineer. The man who 3 years ago suggested hiring an auditor. The man Ray shut down with "doors open," stands up, back straighter than in any meeting before. I move to remove the treasurer, effective immediately. Show of hands. Unanimous. 47 hands. Not a single objection. Ray looks around the room, stands up, sits back down, stands up again, reaches for the donut box, picks it up, sets it back down, walks out. The donut box sits on the table. Nobody touches it. Cut. Nadine files a formal complaint with the county DA and the state attorney general. Attached, spreadsheets, inspection report, county permits, complete, clean. Like every file Nadine has ever submitted. Not a word too many, not a number missing. Investigation confirms $294,000 in fraudulent invoices. Ray is charged. Embezzlement, fraud, breach of fiduciary duty. Plea deal. 18 months. Serves 8.5 years probation. $294,000 in restitution. The HOA files a civil suit against Ray, Donna, and Kessler Home Solutions LLC. Settlement. $340,000. Lien on Ray's house, the house he renovated with HOA money. New pool, granite kitchen, nice garage, all of it leveraged to pay back 112 households who'd been paying dues for 4 years. Community pool, real contractor, real cost, $28,000. Ray quoted $35,000. Even his estimate was inflated. Pool opens that August. Emeka runs across the hot concrete edge, then cannonballs into the water. Splash goes everywhere. Laughter echoes across the neighborhood. Nadine sits in a poolside chair, leather notebook on her lap. Closed. New board. Luis Hernandez, the man Ray shut down 3 years ago, becomes treasurer. First meeting, Luis puts a sign on the table. Your money, your right to know. No donuts. New reforms, residents call them the Okafor standard. Independent audit every year, costs $3,500. Every contractor agreement requires 3 competitive bids. No board member or family member allowed to serve as contractor. Monthly invoices posted publicly on the HOA portal. Finance committee gets unlimited access to all records. $3,500 annual audit. The amount Ray said was too expensive for the community 3 years ago. Ray stole 80 times that. Nadine does not run for the board. I didn't do this because I wanted power. I did it because the numbers didn't add up. But she agrees to chair the finance committee for 2 years to make sure the new system works. And this time, nobody tells her to be quiet. Cut. That evening, Nadine sits at the kitchen table, same table, where she first opened the spreadsheet, clean now, warm lamplight. She opens the leather notebook, flips through old pages, reference numbers, dates, formulas, finds the line, found the story. Smiles. She picks up her phone, takes a photo of the first page, Professor Owen's handwriting, blue ink, faded soft. Every number tells a story. Find the story. Sends it as a text. Caption. Found the story, Professor. Professor Owens responds in 4 minutes. You always do, Nadine. Emeka walks into the kitchen, bare feet, rubbing his eyes. Looks at the notebook on the table. Mom, what's that old book? Nadine looks at her son. It's how I learned to count. Can you teach me? Nadine smiles, opens the kitchen drawer, takes out a new notebook, hardcover, white, nothing written in it, sets it next to the worn leather one, hands it to Emeka. Page 1, Rule 1. Emeka opens the notebook, picks up a pencil. Every number tells a story. Subscribe, because next week, an HOA tears up a single mom's vegetable garden while she's working the night shift. $31,000 a year, 2 jobs, 3 kids. The youngest is 5, asks, Mommy, where are my flowers? That answer costs $85,000. Does your HOA publish full financial records or just send a 2-page summary? If it's just a summary, now you know what might be hiding behind those nice round numbers. Share this with anyone paying HOA dues. And if you've never read your HOA's budget, start tonight. Every number tells a story. The only question is, are you willing to look?